Did you tag me in it?
Yeah. Hold on, let me play this thing first. Jeremiah 7:24, and it said, "Yet they did not obey or incline their ear, but followed the counsels and the dictates of their evil hearts. And they went backwards and not forward." Everybody say anywhere. Anywhere. But backwards. Say anywhere. But backwards. Another scripture right behind that was Jeremiah 15:6. He says, "You have rejected and forsaken me, says the Lord. You keep going in reverse." Say anywhere. Anywhere. But backwards. Say I am unique. I'm gifted. I'm talented. And I possess the heart of a champion. And I'm willing to go anywhere. I'm gifted. I'm talented. I'm unique. And I'm willing to go anywhere. But backwards. You're gifted. I don't care what they say. I'm willing to go anywhere. But back. Congratulations, you all completed the Miami Woo! Anywhere. Anywhere but backwards. Anywhere but backwards. Anywhere but backwards. All right. Good day. Another day of the minor adjustments program. Today is another great day that we have to do the minor adjustments program with you guys. And hopefully we'll get through everything we want to get through today. But first, hopefully everybody have purchased the new book, My Purpose is Greater Than My Struggles. It's my 8th book, and hopefully everybody who want to support us will go out there and get that new book. Again, today, minor adjustments, we just doing a synopsis of the minor adjustment program. And we go through, we're going to go through each chapter of the book and show individuals what minor adjustments program is really about. We're going to go through each chapter. Today, we're going to do purpose. Today, we're going to be teaching on purpose. And, excuse me, we'll go from there. So, again, we're going to wait a few minutes. And hopefully you share this page and tell everybody to tune in who's watching it and everything. And we'll go through the first chapter in a few minutes. 1 second. All right. Okay. Again, my name is Michael Mickey Williams Jr. And this is
Lernell Apple Williams.
We're gonna start in a few minutes. I'm trying to get some stuff in order right quick.
Invite people.
Yeah, invite your friends and everybody. Just share it, and make sure that you tag other people in it so they can tune in. Today we're gonna talk about purpose. Again, hopefully y'all went and purchased my new book, or you can contact me to purchase my new book. It's called My Purpose is Greater Than My Struggles. Let's see. Today we also can invite individuals in to come. If you have a questions that we're doing and you would like to ask the question dealing with purpose, All you gotta do is say that you have a question, and we can actually invite you into the live screen to be a part of it with us, and we'll answer the questions to the best of our abilities, and we'll move from there. Let's see. What else? What else, babe? You got anything?
No, not yet. Just waiting patiently.
Let's go through the mission statement. Minor adjustments is dedicated to preventing and reducing crimes, and our primary purpose is to teach men or women how to make the minor adjustments that are necessary in their lives, which will allow them to obtain and maintain a productive lifestyle after incarceration and or rehabilitation. And two of the most important words out of that mission statement is obtain and maintain. Why are they so important? The word obtain means to come into the possession of something, and the word maintain means to keep in existence. And the reason why I put those two words in the mission statement is because most individuals put more effort on getting out of jail and less effort in staying out of jail. Or most people put more effort on getting off of drugs and less effort on staying off the drugs. So that's why I say to attain our freedom is easy. Our challenge is to maintain it, or to attain our sobriety. That's easy. The challenge is to maintain it. Most individuals need to acquire or accumulate some coping skills or relapse prevention skills to help them maintain the freedom that they clearly got. You don't have to worry about getting out of jail once you go to court. The judge will actually tell you how much time you have to do. So there's no need for you to put in all the effort in trying to get out. You need to put all your effort on trying to stay out of jail. The individuals who struggle with some type of addictions, when they go into the rehabilitation center, the detox or the rehabilitation centers, they get off the drugs, so they will obtain their sobriety. But the challenge is to maintain the sobriety. And what minor adjustments try to do is try to give individuals different coping skills to help them maintain their sobriety or maintain their freedom. Again, we'll go into the chapters today, and we're going to be dealing with purpose. We're going to be dealing with purpose, one of my great subjects. I like to talk about it no matter where I'm at or wherever I'm doing. I love to talk about purpose. If you have any questions today, if you have questions while we're doing this topic on purpose, week number 2 on purpose, if you have any questions, you can just type in the comment section while we're actually live, and we can actually bring you on the screen with us, and you ask your questions, and then we'll answer the questions back like that. Okay, let's see. All right, page 21. It says every week when I do minor adjustments, I always have an expectation for the group. Today, my expectation for this particular group will be everyone will get down to the core of why they do what they do. Everyone will get down to the core of why they do what they do. I'll explain that later. And again, every week we will be doing one of the chapters in the book. It's an 8-week course. We're on our 2nd week. So every Friday at 6 p.m. we will go through the minor adjustments book. And it came to me to do that because a lot of times people don't know what we do when we go into these different programs and do our programs, so people don't really understand what we do. So I said, I'm going to do them online, actually do it live and talk about each subject that I teach on. The first week is an introduction. The 2nd week, like I said, the 2nd week is dealing with purpose. The 1st week is introduction. The 2nd week is purpose. So right now, what we're doing right now, we're talking about purpose. So we're going to say, how you doing, Pamela? You got it open. Let me see. Hold on. 1 second. How you doing, Ichabod? All right. Let me see. Okay, each week, like I said, each week we're gonna go through the topic, and we want to. Each week we have an expectation for the group. Today, my expectation is everyone will get down to the core of why they do what they do. Everyone will get down to the core of why they do what they do. All right, let's see. So here it says in chapter 1, it says each unit 1, part 1. There's a purpose. I love you too. There's a purpose in your past. In order for you to begin the process of allowing your past to push you into your destiny, you must first know that despite all the bad choices and situations and negative things that you have done in your past, you still have a purpose for living. So many people want their lives to have meaning. They want to do the right thing, but are often unsure what that is. You and I were created to do something extraordinary. You have a purpose. You and I were created to do something extraordinary. Remember I said that everyone here will get down to the core of why they do what they do. If you take an apple, inside every apple, there's something greater in the apple. If you take the skin of that apple, take it out back, put some fertilizer in it, plant it, you still won't produce the greatness that's in the apple. If you take that same apple, peel the skin off of it, cut through the pieces and take the pieces that we be eating and take it outside and bury it, you still won't produce the greatness that's in the apple. But if you peel that apple, cut through the pieces you can eat, you'll come across the part of the apple that's known as the core. When you break through the core, you get to the seed. The seed, that's our lives. And every time you keep playing with the surface of stuff and never break to the core, through the core, and find out why you do what you do, you will never discover the greatness that's inside of you. Once I broke through the core of why I sold drugs, once I broke through the core of why I used drugs, I've discovered the greatness that was in me. But it will never happen as long as we keep playing with the surface of stuff. Everyone must get down to the core of why you do what you do. And that's a minor adjustment that every individual has to make, no matter if it's in business, is in whatever field it is. You have to break down, you have to break through the core. The seed, every apple has something that's greater in it, and it's the seed. The seed is greater than the apple because the seed gets to keep reproducing that one apple. But you have to break through the core and see why you do what you do. But if you never do that, then there'll be a problem. So no matter what you're doing, always remember that you have to break down to the core of why you do it. Why am I out here constantly going back and forth to jail? Why am I always in these different types of relationships? Why I keep switching all these jobs and blaming the boss? You have to find out, get down to the core of why you do what you do. And if you never get down to the core, you will keep playing with the skin of the apple. The skin of the apple represents the surface of stuff. The surface of stuff is not the real you. You have a purpose. But in order for you to discover your purpose, you have to get down to the core of why you're doing the stuff that you're doing. Let's move along. All right, let's go. It says the word purpose means to set as an aim, intention, or goal for oneself, the reason for which something exists. And in the book, the minor adjustment workbook that we give to the clients, is so many different questions that they ask, questions that people will ask. Like one of the questions are, who are you? One of the questions are, who are you? And I say that because normally other people tend to see your true potential before you see it. I guarantee you that you have plenty of people who was telling you that you were supposed to be doing something different than how you're living now, and they keep telling you, and the reason why they're telling you is because normally people see your true potential before you even see it. And you have a purpose. Today the subject is about purpose. And other people, normally, other people will see your true potential before you see it. I remember my mother telling me all the time of the things, some of the things that I am doing now in my life at 46 years old. My mother told me when I was struggling with drugs that I was going to be doing the exact same thing I'm doing now. How is that possible? Because other people see your potential even before you see it. But you still have a purpose, and that purpose will never leave. But in order for you to really discover that purpose, you have to break through the core of why you keep doing what you're doing. Don't think it's just society making you do it. You are doing it for a reason, and that reason you have to discover, because that reason is holding you back from the greatness that's in you. All right, let's see. Let me get some water real quick. The next question. Again, I'm going to remind y'all that that minor adjustments is dedicated to preventing and reducing crimes, and our primary purpose is to teach men or women how to make the minor adjustments that are necessary in their lives, which will allow them to obtain and maintain a productive lifestyle after incarceration and or rehabilitation. And our motto is anywhere
but backwards.
But backwards. We focus on going anywhere but backwards. And I took that motto from a Bible verse that I read one day, and it was Jeremiah 7:24, and it says, "Yet they did not obey and incline their ear to me, but they kept following the counsel of their own hearts, and they kept going backwards instead of forward." So when I read that, I said, hold on, as long as I go anywhere but backwards, I should succeed. So I locked that into my mind. I encoded it into my DNA, and when I wake up in the morning, I'm always focused that no matter what I do, no matter what I'm going through, I have to be willing to go anywhere but backwards. If you're going to achieve your purpose in life, you have to make up in your mind to be willing to go anywhere but backwards. You have a purpose, but you have to get down to the core of why you keep doing the things that you are doing. The things that a lot of individuals might be doing are leading them back to the same life that they want to get a part of, get away from. So you have to be willing to go anywhere but backwards. So let's go here. It says, the next question is, what's your purpose? All right, let me help you. Apple, the company Apple, has a symbol. This symbol is an image. Apple came out with a new iPhone. Apple put the image on the iPhone. But before they put the image on the iPhone, they made sure that everything that the iPhone needed to be successful was already in the iPhone. Apple also came out with a new iWatch. But before Apple put their image on that iWatch, they made sure that everything that the iWatch needed to be succeed was already in it. Apple also came out with a new iPad, but before Apple came out with that iPad, they make sure that everything that iPad needed to be productive was already in it. Now I said all that to say this. In the Bible it says that God made us in his image, but before he put his image on you, he made sure that everything that you needed to succeed was already in you. Before God put his image on you, he made sure that everything that you needed to be successful was already in you. Before God put his image on you, he made sure that everything that you needed to be productive in life was already in you. That's what he calls an inside job. It's an inside job. Your purpose is inside you. You have to get down to the core of why you do what you do and live your life from the inside out, and stop allowing your life to be dictated from the outside in. You have a purpose. Let's see what we got next. Go ahead, you can read that.
See it this way. Are you aiming for anything of importance? The key word in that sentence is importance. And with everybody, what they deem important is different. What may be important to me may not be important to you. But the question is, are you aiming for anything of importance?
Aiming for it.
Aiming.
You got to set an aim for something.
Do you have a goal?
Yeah.
You have something in mind. And a lot of times when we're caught up in routines and habits, we have several things in mind, and we try to accomplish all of them at one time. And we get frustrated because it's impossible to complete everything at once. So we get frustrated, and we end up going back to old mannerisms or behaviors, or run into old ways as an escape because we're frustrated, because we seem like we can't get to where we're trying to go. And the reason we're doing that is because we're trying to do everything at once. And that's one of the reasons that minor adjustments was started as well, because we want you to do minor, small things, accomplish small goals, aim high, but take one step at a time. And before you know it, all of those minor things have accumulated and it became one big thing.
All right, let's see. What's your intention? These are questions, again, these are questions in the book that people will have to answer for themselves. This is my personal book, but this is questions in the book when we do the minor adjustment program. Each client will have their own book, and the questions and answers will all be different. Like today, if you have any questions dealing with purpose, you can just ask me or put it on the screen that you have a question, and I can bring you on the screen, and then we can just discuss the question right there, and then we give somebody else another opportunity to ask a question dealing with in regards to purpose. Right now it says, do you have a purpose, a goal? Purpose is the master motivation and the mother of commitment. Purpose is the master of motivation and the mother of commitment. Purpose is the master of motivation and the mother of commitment. I'm going to talk about commitment a little bit later. It says, where do you have to go and what do you have to do for your purpose to be reached? Where do you have to go and what do you have to do in order for your purpose to be reached? To reach your purpose, you must ask yourself 3 questions. The first one is, what's my present situation? The first one is, what's my present situation? Meaning, where are you? What you going through right now? The second one is, what's my desired destination? The third one is, the first one is, what's my present situation? The second one is, what's my desired destination? And the third one is, what's the steps in between? Meaning, you need to find out, and if you're trying to discover or follow your purpose, you need to first find out, or you need to keep in mind, what's your present situation. After you find out what's your present situation, you need to find out what's your desired destination. Where are you trying to go? Because if you have following your purpose and you're not even sure where you're trying to go, then you're going to end up at a place that you don't really want to be. So the first thing when you're following your purpose is to find out, what's my present situation? Like, do I have the finances to do what I need to do right now? Then you have to find out, what's your desired destination? And the third one, which is really the most important one, is what's the steps in between? Like when I first wrote the minor adjustments book, I didn't really have the vision about doing a minor adjustment program yet. I wrote the book, and then after I wrote the book, I created the minor adjustments business. After the minor adjustments business, then I wanted to do the minor adjustments program. So I had my present situation, I had my desired destination, and I had to do all the steps in the middle, writing proposals and writing all this stuff up and learning how to do things and how to get in meetings, how to meet program directors and everything like that. Hi, Kiana. Everything like that, so that I had to find out what was my present situation and my desired destination and the steps in the middle. So let's go. Yeah, I see you, Kiana. She's talking about I'm late, but I'm on. Oh, you can type one in? Huh? Oh, I didn't know. I thought you had to do it there. That's good. Alright, let's go. The next one is, no matter what anyone says to you, or no matter how you look at it, you have a purpose for this world and you have a reason for living. Telling yourself that you have a purpose, even though your present situation may have you feeling broken inside, is a great place for you to begin. Start by encouraging yourself. Stop waiting on others. Tell yourself, I have a purpose. I have a purpose. I have a purpose. I have a purpose. Don't wait for nobody else to encourage you. When I get out in the morning, if I don't feel like I'm having a so-called good day, I encourage myself. I tell myself I have a purpose. I have a purpose. I have a purpose. I'll talk to myself all day long to encourage myself. You have to do that too, because you have a purpose. You have to keep encouraging yourself. Don't wait for other people to encourage you. Even though it's awesome for other people to encourage you, you have to have an innate ability to tap into that resource yourself. You have that inside of you, so you have to tap into that. When nobody is there, Michael encourages himself. When nobody know what's going on, I encourage myself. I tell myself I have a purpose. I have a purpose. And that's why I wrote my book, My Purpose is Greater Than My Struggle. Because no matter what struggles that come our way, I'm sure that the purpose that I was created is better than it. And also for you, your purpose is greater than your struggles. No matter what you face in your life, no matter what someone says, no matter how many people count you out, always remember that your purpose is greater than your struggles.
And know that there is not anything on this earth that was not created for a purpose. Everything has a purpose. You may not know what that is, but everything has a purpose. Where we get into trouble is sometimes we use what was created for one thing and we do other things with it. Case in point, look at the chair in your house. Look at any chair in your house or the chair that you're sitting on. That chair was created by someone. They invented that chair, they created that chair for people to be able to sit down. Now, if you're like me, chair in my room, I got clothes on it. Sometimes we pull a chair in front of us, and if we're out at a barbecue and you eat on it, sometimes you change your baby on it. There's multiple things. You use it as a step ladder to get up high. And somebody might have it decorated and have it as a little table in the corner with a plant on it. And to them, that chair is a table. But if you ask the designer, the creator of that chair, he will tell you, you may be using it as a table, but that is a chair, and I created it for this. So in order, one way for you to get closer to discovering what your purpose is ask your creator. Because he would know you were created for a purpose. We have gifts and talents that we use for everything but what they were created for. And the only way to get in tune with that is ask your creator. Go ahead, Ben.
Oh, I was texting him back. What's up, man? How you doing, y'all? Mr. Bunch, good to see you, man. Again, if y'all have questions in regards to purpose, y'all can ask the questions. Say you have a question, and I'll bring you on and let you ask the questions. Huh?
They can type it in. We can see it.
Just ask the question and tell me you have a question, and I'll bring you on screen, and then I'll let you. I'll tell you what the answer the question while you're there. All right, let me see. Oh. My Purpose is Greater Than My Struggle book. My new book, My Purpose is Greater Than My Struggle, is a book that was inspired by a vision that I had. But if you get a chance to get it, I think you should get it. It'd be a nice something to have in your arsenal. Success isn't always going to be a huge contract. You can be successful if you just live out your purpose in life. Success is not always going to be a huge contract. You can live out your purpose if you just live out your purpose in life. You can be successful is not always going to be a big contract. Some people think because I got a big contract that I've been successful. That's not necessarily so. If you just live out your purpose, that's success. If you live out the purpose that you were created, if you go back to the God that created you and find out your purpose, then that's success. You want to live out the why am I here? You had to come for a reason, and whatever that reason is, that's your purpose. You need to discover that.
And let's put that in a minor adjustment. Look, if you want to quit smoking and you smoke 2 packs a week, and this week you smoked a pack and a half, that's success. So, because that's something minor. You got to give yourself credit, because you get credit and you get excited over those small things, and you do more and more, and they add up to larger things.
Some people had the ability to just stop just like that. But some people had to walk that sucker down. Sometimes you have to do it like that. My brothers and sisters, I do not consider myself to have taken hold of it, but it's one thing that I always do, and that's forgetting what I did in my past and reaching towards what's ahead. The only reason you need to look back at your past is to learn about yourself. The person who loves instruction loves knowledge, but the one who hates to be corrected is stupid. That's actually a proverb out the Bible. It says the person who loves knowledge, loves instruction, loves knowledge. And the one who hates to be corrected is stupid, because if a person who loves instructions would like to listen to somebody tell them I did it. Now I'm trying to tell you, give you the instruction of how I pulled this off or how I did it, and I'm telling you. But a lot of times people probably don't. I used to always never really listen to the instructions that people would give me. I would think like, nah, I got it, I understand what to do. But that's not really true. If you're trying to succeed, you got to listen to other individuals. The word past means, remember I'm talking about, the only way you need to look back at your past is to learn more about you. You can learn more about yourself if you just look back at your past. The word past means what has existed or has happened at an earlier time or an earlier point of a person's life or career. Who do you blame for your past? Questions again, these questions are just for the individuals to ask themselves. Who do they blame for their past? And it's just the reason why that question is in there, because a lot of times we'll have somebody in our head. My mom was an alcoholic, my dad was a drug addict, my whole neighborhood, everybody committed crime. We blame something, but we never try to channel who we should blame, which is ourselves, for the things that we did. Especially when we was of age.
Yeah, because myself included, things happened when I was a little girl, and I carried around a lot of anger, and I would fight quickly, and that excuse would always be because of the hurt that happened to me as a child. I carried that in. But when you're a child and things happen, and this is for someone, when you're a child and things happen, that's out of your control. We understand that. But now you're an adult. You cannot blame your adult behavior on somebody else's behavior or things that happened to you when you were a child. You cannot use that. It happened, it was out of your control, but now you have control.
Yeah, you take it by the horn. You can't keep blaming everybody. What are you holding on to from your past? Wow, that's a tough question. What are you holding on to from your past? What are you holding on to from your past? And these questions, again, is for the individuals. Again, we're doing a synopsis of the Mind Adjustment Program. What we're doing is we're going through each week of what we do. If we had the clients or whoever in front of us, we're doing like a brief synopsis of what we do every week. So this is the second week, which is dealing with purpose. The first week was introduction.
What are you holding on to from your past? That's a good question to think about, because myself again, I held on to whatever anger or hurt that I had because it was my right to do it, because you did it. You did do it to me, and I have every right to feel how I'm feeling. I have every right not to speak to you, not to look at you. Whatever I was feeling, it was mine, and I wasn't giving that up to benefit you. And in all actuality, it was not to benefit the other person for me to let that go. It was to benefit me.
Yeah. It always would be like that. You want to try to benefit you. You're trying to benefit. It says, where were you most comfortable at in your past lifestyle? Why would you ask a question like that? Where were I most comfortable at? Because it will show you, I told you, the only time you need to look at your past is to learn more about you. If you find out where you was most comfortable at in your past lifestyle, that's the thing that, or the place or the area you want to stay away from the most. Because you're so comfortable there. It could be a neighborhood. It could be friends, certain friends. It could be money. It could be, if you was more comfortable in your past lifestyle in certain environments or certain areas, you need to study that. There's a reason why you were most comfortable in that area or that surrounding. When you find out where you were more comfortable at in your past lifestyle, that's the area you want to stay away from, because there's minor adjustments that you have to make. And we teach going anywhere but backwards. And if you find out where you were most comfortable at, I was most comfortable. I could live far away from Atlantic City. But I would come back to Atlantic City where all my friends would be at on the corner, and I would want to go right around. I was comfortable in that environment. I was comfortable, even if I was trying to work on recovery. I still would go right back to that same environment. And then I discovered, man, I can't keep doing it, because I keep going back, basically trying to show them that I was clean or that I was doing good, and that's not a good environment for me.
And why are you comfortable there?
Yeah.
A lot of times people go back or revert back to what's comfortable for them from fear of trying and fear of failing if they try.
Yeah.
You know, sometimes even the fear of the unknown. I've always done this, so if I do this, I don't know what's going to happen. If I move here, I don't know what's going to happen. Why are you comfortable? Don't get stuck in one place. Always grow. Your bodies are growing. Your mind is growing. Everything in you is growing. It's designed to grow.
Everything in you is growing. Yo, but that's awesome that she said that. She must have read my book. Because the next question, the next question said, why do you think you had peace there? Like, you know, when it said, why were you comfortable in that past lifetime? Then the next question in the workbook, it says, why was you comfortable? Why did you have peace in that environment or that situation? And these are just questions that try to get you to thinking and use your cognitive to try to get you to start thinking about certain things. Did your past break you down? Did your past break you down? What is one of the greatest signs you can tell if someone's past broke them down? One of the greatest signs that you can tell if someone's past broke them down is they will not repeat that again. As long as you think it didn't break you down, it's easy to repeat it. And that's why we tell them anywhere but backwards. If your past life has not beat you down, it will be easy for you to go back to it. If your past life has not beat you down, it will be easy to go back to it. If your past life did not break you down, it will be easy to go back to it. Did your past break you down? And the proof that your past broke you down is you will not go back to that lifestyle. And that's why we say anywhere but backwards. Anywhere but backwards. Don't did your past break you down? I'm reading it again. I can't let it go. Did your past break you down? If your past life has not beat you down, it will be easy for you to go back to it. You have to realize, or you have to lock up in your mind, you have to be willing to go anywhere but backwards. Anywhere but backwards. Did you notice the kids who looked up to you in your past lifestyle? You gotta be kidding me. You mean to tell me all that crap I was doing in my past lifestyle, kids was looking up to me? Yeah. You had somebody in your neighborhood that were looking up to you. They might have been younger than you. They might have been older than you. And it was something about you that was attracted to you. And they will always gravitate to you. They looked up to you. But you never noticed the kid that was looking up to you. I remember growing up, and there was this one particular guy in Atlantic City. His family was well off. He was doing well and everything. And every time I would see him, I would always look up to this guy. And I'll never forget one day, years later, and I was actually addicted to drugs and everything. And one day I see him come out of the house where I was getting my drugs from. And I looked at him. And he was a very good guy as far as I knew. He was just doing everything right. His family was good. And I was struggling. My family was struggling. And one day I was coming out the house and he came out. And I seen him and I was looking at him and I was like, what are you doing here? You know, I was, cause I looked up to him. Like, I was like, what are you doing in this house? This is for people like me. And I talked to that man. And he says, man, it shocked me because he said, I see y'all running around here getting high and everything. And I always wanted to do what y'all was doing. And I said, wow, he never even realized that he had kids like me looking up to him. And he wanted to do what we were doing, thinking it was something that was cool. But anywhere but backwards. So you got to remember that people are always looking up to you in your neighborhood. Can you leave, next question. You want to go? Can you leave it behind? Can you leave it behind? Meaning your past life. Can you leave the old relationships behind? Can you leave the old job that you said was miserable? Can you leave it behind? Can you leave the career or the business that you started and it didn't pan out? Can you leave it behind? That's a minor adjustment that you have to make. You can't keep dwelling on what happened. Can you leave it behind? If you can leave it behind, you open up the doors for you to do something else ahead. But you have to leave it behind. And the question you have to ask yourself, can I leave it behind? Can you leave it behind?
And that's important because with some people struggling with addiction, and I'm going in and out of rehabs and incarceration, sometimes you have to relocate. And I remember one of our classes, we had a young man, and my husband told him, you may have to relocate. He had everything, his ideal, he had his goals, he had everything he wanted to do, but he still wanted to go home where he did everything at. He wanted to change, but he wanted to change right there. And in some cases, you may have to relocate. This young man did not relocate, and he went home. He was home 1 week, and I think that first weekend he was home, he got killed. Sometimes you will have to leave some things behind, and that's people. Because sometimes people seem like they're good for you and they want to tag along, but they're a hindrance. If you're on an airplane and they tell you if that airplane is going down, they tell you to put your oxygen mask on first before you put the person next to you.
Can you leave it behind? You have to leave it behind. You have to leave it behind. You have to leave it behind. All right. Don't get down on yourself. Again, I'll keep saying it. The Minor Adjustment Program is dedicated to preventing and reducing crimes, and our primary purpose is to teach men or women how to make the minor adjustments that are necessary for their lives, which will allow them to obtain and maintain a productive lifestyle after incarceration and or rehabilitation. After incarceration and or rehabilitation. And the two key words that I talk about is obtain and maintain. To obtain your freedom is easy. The challenge is to maintain it. To attain your sobriety, that's easy. The challenge is to maintain it. The word obtain means to come into the possession of something, and the word maintain means to keep it in existence. Many people put more effort or more emphasis on getting out of jail. How I know? Every time they in jail, they keep calling, trying to get home. But when you home, don't nobody call. They trying to get out. Many people are trying to get out. They want to get out of jail, but they don't put the same effort on staying out of jail. Many people go to detox and rehabilitation center. That's great. But the challenge is not to get in there and get your sobriety. The challenge is when you come home to maintain the sobriety. And when I figured that out, something in my head clicked. I realized that I was going to jail a lot, and I was going to rehab a lot. And the reason why I was going a lot, because I wasn't maintaining when I got out of jail or when I got out of rehabilitation centers. Once I got in there, I started realizing that I needed to do things, build up first my spirituality. I built my spirituality up, and even though I have my spirituality up, God wasn't going to come down here and take no drugs out of my hand. I had to put that stuff down. He wasn't going to come down here and tell me, you're not going to commit that crime. I had to not commit those crimes. So no, even though my spirituality was built up, my spirituality allowed me to have the necessary controls, the ability to control what to do and what not to do. And I'm still a work in progress, because until he come back. But anyway, the next one is, it says, don't get down on yourself and think that you're the only one with a past, because everyone has a past. Studies have shown that past behaviors is the best predictor of future behaviors. Past behaviors are best predictors of future behaviors. Now check this out. I studied this. That only applies if nothing changes. Past behaviors is the best predictor of future behaviors, meaning I can tell you what you're going to be doing in the future by your past behaviors. If you didn't change anything, if you never made no minor adjustments and you still living off the old system, then you're going to end up at the same destination. The only way that something will be different ahead of you if you make some changes. You can't. Your past behaviors is the best predictor of future behaviors. Only if that only applies if nothing changes. Meaning, if I had my past behaviors is the best predictor of my future behaviors. If I never change something about the past behaviors that I used to do, my future would have been the exact same that I was getting on all those other years. But being as though I made some changes, I changed the direction that my life was headed in. Past behaviors are the best predictor of future behaviors, but that only applies if nothing changes.
And you can use that if you think about your computer. If you type your name, address, everything in the computer. If your name start with an L and you start typing an L, the computer automatically ready to fill in your
yeah,
name.
That's what it do, autofill.
You can say this is what she puts in there.
Yeah, man. Okay, let's see. When you begin to make needed minor adjustments in your life, you're not only going to change direction, but you will also make the scholars who did the study go back to the drawing board. You cannot change the past, but you can always choose a different direction and use your old one to push you ahead. You can't change what happened back there, but you can always use it to push you ahead. On my first book titled Pushed Out the Crack House into God's House, the subtitle is How to Allow Your Past to Push You into Your Destiny. Right now, literally, I'm allowing what I went through in my past to push me into my destiny. I'm not letting it hold me. I'm using it to push me. The only information and knowledge that I have is stuff that I accumulate from my past. But instead of me allowing the past to hold me there, I'm allowing what I went through to push me into my destiny. So that's the same thing you have to do, because when you're following your purpose, you have to let your past push you. Don't let your past hold you. Minor adjustments is dedicated to preventing and reducing crime, but we want you to we trying to help you prevent you committing crime, but we telling you that, yeah, you probably did all that stuff before, but you can actually use your past to push you to where you need to go. But you have to make some changes. Remember, your past behaviors is the best predictor of your future behaviors, but that only applies if nothing changes. It is when you change something, everything else changed in front of you. You have to understand that. It says, when you begin to make minor adjustments in your life, I'm reading it again, you're not the only going to change direction, but you will also make the scholars who did the study go back to the drawing board. Listen to me. When you start making minor adjustments in your life, and they already know, scientists say that past behaviors is the best predictor of future behaviors. When you start making changes and they trying to figure out or scratching their head why he's not ending up in the same place that he used to be. And the reason is because you made some minor adjustments. When I start making minor adjustments, they wondering, well, why they're wondering why an individual not coming back and forth to jail or back and forth to drugs, because they made some changes. And anytime they trying to predict your behavior, the only thing that you can do is change your behaviors and move on. It says, you have already put in your time in the past with that ignorant way of life. The ignorant way of life. Partying night and night and drunken and good for nothing life. Now it's time to be done with it for good. And that's that past lifestyle. Minor adjustments just want you to try to focus on doing something different, and doing that old life is over. It's time to go to something greater. There's a whole, your purpose is greater than your struggle. No matter what you face today, no matter what you face tomorrow, always remember that your purpose is greater than your struggle, and you gotta always lock on your purpose by breaking through the core and finding out or getting down to the core of why you do what you do. Why do you do what what you do. It's a reason why you do it. You don't just wing it. It's a reason why you do it. Even if you don't have the necessary coping skills or the relapse prevention skills, or you haven't accumulated or built up your spirituality, something is a reason why you do it. And you got to work on all that. And minor adjustments is just each week we're going to go through something. This week is purpose. Next week, what she's going to do is surrender, the key to the victory. She just got that off the press. You got mail. She going to do next week is surrender, the key to victory. And after that, we'll go week by week. We got about 5 more weeks left. After this week, we have 6 more weeks left, and we just every week at 6 o'clock we're gonna go through and do a synopsis of it, and hopefully we can be encouraging to other individuals and just show them that minor adjustments is focused on trying to help people, prevent them from doing the things that they used to do. Our motto is anywhere but backwards. Anywhere but backwards, which came from a Bible verse that I read. Jeremiah 7:24 says, "Yet they did not obey and incline their ear to me, but they followed the counsel and the dictates of their own hearts, and they kept going backwards instead of forward." Anywhere but backwards. That is one of the things that minor adjustments try to instill in individuals that we deal with, is to try, they have to make up their mind. It has to be a willing mind that I'm willing to go anywhere but backwards.
And there is a purpose in you that God put in you. Your purpose could be to discover something. Your purpose could be there to encourage someone.
Yeah.
Your purpose could just be that, to be that confident. Somebody you might meet in life and you've gone through so much, and they may be going through something similar or exactly like what you've gone through, and they're ready to give up, but you survived and you got to that place, and you're at that purpose where you can use all of that to encourage them. Your purpose is so great, and God hid it in you, that you know that your bodies, when they were created, they weren't designed to die. They were designed to live forever. That's why we have clotting factors in our bodies for bleeding. We have, when we're cold, we shiver to try to warm up. Your body will try its best to survive. Because originally, that's what we were created. We weren't created to die. We were created to be here. We had a purpose. So your purpose is so great in you. It's other things out here that try to distract you from it, try to hinder you from reaching it, or try to kill you before you make it there.
Yeah.
But I want you to know that you can survive. Your purpose, no matter what's going on. Let me see that book. No matter what's going on in your life, whether it's identity crisis, whether it's prison, whether it's unbelief, whether it's anger, alcoholism, rejection, gambling, rape, prostitution, insecurity, loneliness, fear, crack, heroin, sickness, death, molestation, other people's opinions. No matter what it is, you see this fist bursting through, your purpose is greater than all of that.
Yeah, that's right. And the last thing, and then we're going to be out of here, it says discouragement, defeating experiences may be part of your past life, but there is no reason why they must continue to discourage and defeat you. They can become stepping stones to releasing and maximizing your potential. If you are willing to learn from your mistakes and allow God's transforming power to turn your loss into gain. It says discouraging, defeating experiences may be part of your past life, but there is no reason why they must continue to discourage and defeat you. They can become stepping stones to releasing and maximizing your potential. If you are willing to learn from your mistakes and allow God's transforming power to turn your loss into a gain. With that, we say thank y'all. We'll see y'all next week at 6 o'clock, where we'll be talking about surrender, the key to victory, and always remember to go anywhere but backwards. God bless you.